welcome to today's video. We're going to preview G2 and Top Esports going into MSI tomorrow. There are no games to discuss anything today, so let's get into this. G2 and TES. Many would consider this to be the most contested matchup between West and East. G2, definitely the best Western team, that's without question. And then to many, Top Esports are the worst Eastern team of the LCK and LPL. Personally, I do not believe that. I believe that they are better than that. I believe going 5 games against Gen G and then throwing in draft with the Akali pick is in part, kind of indicative of just how good Top Esports can be. And in my opinion, they're only going to get better. So, many people looking at this matchup are picking G2 with the thought that Top Esports, and more in particular, TN will int, and then ignoring the fact that G2 could also int, right? I mean, I always find it funny when people take what you would consider to be underdog and just assume, oh, other team's going to play poorly. My team's going to play perfect, or the team that I'm picking, they're going to play perfect. But the other team, they're going to play terrible. I just think that just kind of it's fandom is what it is, and that's fine. Just understand that when somebody comes into that situation and is level-headed, doesn't have a dog in the fight, they're going to say, oh, well, this is fandom talking, not necessarily reality. Can G2 beat Top Esports if Caps is if Caps is playing as great as we've seen him at times play this year and in the past? I think that that's entirely possible. That is the win con for G2 is Caps. It is not Broken Blade into 369. Hell, it's the only matchup that's occurred between these two teams in their tenure. Top Esports and G2 have not played at an international event straight up as orgs, and the other 4 matchups have not occurred. I was surprised if Mako and Mickey didn't cross paths, and will cross paths for the first time tomorrow. So in those 2 games, 369 got the better of BB. This occurred at Worlds 2022. 369 with JDG. If you recall, that was a squad that had Hope at 80 carry. 3.4 KDA to 1.1, which is just a thing. But I like looking at the splits, the first 15 minutes, the laning phase to determine the 1v1. 369 had an edge on average of 450 gold, 26 CS, and 920 XP. So I would say he got the better of BB when they played. This matchup comes down to Caps. And I've already said that. I think we all can agree that's what it is. 369, in my opinion, is better than BB. I believe Tien, if he's playing at his best and Yike is playing at his best, Tien is better. If we try and assume that Tien, for some reason, tomorrow won't play at his best, then, I guess you could do that. But then I'm just going to say, oh, well, I guess Yike isn't going to play at his best. We saw him at Worlds last year play like absolute dog, right? So there you go. Oh, geez. Everything's been blown out of proportion now, right? We're looking at things that happened 6 months ago and trying to utilize them to determine what's going to happen tomorrow. I think that's foolish. Tien's a world champion for a reason. And then bot lane, Jackie Love Mako into Hans. Mickey X is a diffie, in my opinion. So let's go over some interesting, ban-related things, draft-related stuff. So we have here the champions, and then whether they were banned by or against G2 and by or against Top Esports. And I thought there'd be more overlap than this. This is why it's interesting to put this on the board and actually work through it and go over it with you. Really, there are only 3 contested champions where both teams have it. The champions are that OP in both teams' eyes that either they're picking them or they're banning them. And that's in the case of Vi. Both teams are banning it. Neither team wanted to play against Vi. This includes their top 6 most banned champions. So neither one wants to play Vi. So either Vi is picked or it's banned in tomorrow's series, in my opinion. Senna, we have a diffie here. So Senna, G2 tends to ban Senna. Top Esports tends to have Senna banned against them commonly. So that's a little bit of a difference there. And then Draven, both teams face Draven bans. Draven may be a contested pick tomorrow. Maybe both players end up choosing to give each other a go with it because they are considered Draven players. But I will add to that Jackie's is better than Han's statistically. On the champion, you look at DPM numbers, there's a big difference between the two. Now, other champions to go over. In top lane, G2, we have Rumble, Zach, Rek'Sai. For top esports, we have Jax and TF. I understand Jax is a flex pick. I understand Rek'Sai is a flex pick, but for the sake of this, we're just going to include him in top lane. And I guess you could say jungle in the same breath. So both teams tend to ban Rumble, Jax, TF. So we'll see if those picks are contested. And then Zach and Rek'Sai were banned against G2. Nothing commonly banned in top lane against 369. In the jungle, we had Vi, and then top esports face a lot of Xin Zhao bans. Mid lane, very contested area. We actually have 5 champions listed. Orianna against G2. A lot of people not want to play against Cap's Orianna. Top esports got Talia and Aurelion Sol out of the mix in their games, but did face Ari and Tristana bans. So are we going to see Orianna, Ari, Tristana bans tomorrow? We'll find out, because Caps is playing those champions as well. So those might be contested. 80 carry. 5 80 carry bans. In the case of, we went over Senna and Draven, but G2, it's either banned by them or against them when it comes to Lucian. Top esports, Lucian is not a common ban. But G2, it's both ways, which is kind of interesting. And in terms of top esports, they ban Kalista often and then face a lot of Varus bans. We saw Jackie Love going into this tournament, one of the few players that played Kalista as one of his most played champions. Like I think it might have been his most played this past split when I was doing those videos towards the end of the season where, let's look at who everybody's playing the most just to see if there's any outliers. And Jackie Love was one of them, playing more Kalista than anybody in the 4 major regions. So they have high priority on Kalista. And then at the support role, nothing really on the top esports side, but on the G2 side, we see Ashe and Renata banned by them, so they don't like playing into them, and then Nautilus banned against them. So we'll find out what happens. It seems that in the case of top esports, a lot of teams going into their games like to ban 80 carries and then ban mid laners against them, where in the case of G2, a lot of people want to ban top lane and 80 carry. I mean, we have 5 common bans here, and 2 are in top, 2 are in 80 carry. They ban themselves 2 supports, 2 80 carries, so definitely trying to help Hansama Mickey X. I mean, 4 of your top 6 most common bans include bot laners. I mean, I think that's indicative of quite a bit. In terms of top esports, we see, like I said, banned by them. They ban a couple top laners, a couple mids. It does make sense to help Cream out. 369, it's interesting to consider. And then they, 380 carry related bans against. So Jackie Love is eating 3 of the 6 most common bans against top esports. Kind of shows just how good Jackie Love is. And then 2 against Cream, because a lot of people want to try and constrict his champion pool. So, that's supposed to say 22. I mean, I don't have the pink marker here, but it's supposed to be Worlds 2022. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.